Warning, the following audio transmission is based on theory and is intended for entertainment purposes only. It's Doomsday and its affiliates will not be held liable for anything your dumbass does. Listener discretion is advised.
Right? I've heard many people say, I love the self-checkout at Walmart. It's so convenient. And I'm like, I fucking hate it. I do not like it. Look, if I'm going to check my own items out, number one, I should be getting a discount. Like, you're not paying somebody to do this now. Can I get 5% off? Something like that. But the other thing that pisses me off, I really hate when I get stopped because I'm buying something that you have to provide ID for. And it's always something you don't think about. Like, oh, I bought a can of spray paint because I'm going to spray paint this house. Boom, you need ID. Oh, I got to get medicine for my kid because he's sick. Boom, ID. Right? Like, I'm not going through there with a bottle of wine or a case of beer. When this happens, it's like, oh, those hemorrhoid suppositories. Shit, I forgot I needed ID for those. Like, are you kidding me? So there's always that stop. There's that inconvenience of stopping there and having to deal with that.
Listen, let's be honest here. If you like the self-checkout, it's because you're a dirty thief, okay? You're stealing stuff.
Maybe that's what it is. Welcome in, Mr. T. Welcome in them apples. So, I have seen a lot of people, and this is a big thing I've been seeing bouncing around online now. They are having a big problem with theft. And the CEO of Walmart's getting pissed about it. So they're now trying to develop like, I don't know. I didn't fully read the story, but either better technology to prevent the theft or a way to counter this, because he's like, oh, we're losing all this money due to theft.
Huh.
Well, you did this. You put in self-checkouts. People found a way to manipulate the system. And I'm not a dirty thief, but I mean, I got to tell you, I'll get over on a big corporation when I can.
It's
right?
a catch-22. Now you get to add in better equipped cameras that track your movement.
Well, there's better equipped cameras. I think, so I know that when the self-checkouts first originated, items had weights and they had a scale. And remember when they wouldn't even out and you're over there like putting something on, taking something off because it wouldn't let you continue scanning?
Mm-hmm.
I think they had to do away with a lot of that because I haven't noticed that issue anymore. Because if you get a bulk item that you can't get up there, or you're buying so much stuff it won't fit anymore, the machine doesn't know what to do. And whenever they started taking away mass cashiers out of these stores, that became a big problem. Because the guy that's going through and buying a month worth of groceries isn't getting them all on that little weight there, where the bags are. So he's run into a problem. And they're watching this slow down. But these corporate bastards have no problem reopening 20 fucking registers during Black Friday sales or during Christmas or during the first of the month when everybody just got their government checks.
Oh, you mean they're not afraid to make that money?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. In one hand, I don't blame them because that's what they're there for, and people should expect that. But in the other hand, there are levels to these things. Like, when is it making a profit versus taking advantage of people?
And when you're talking about big corporations, a lot of the time it is taking advantage of people.
Sure.
I mean,
well, absolutely. Look at Walmart in general. I mean, when was the last time you went to one? Was it recent?
It's been within the last few weeks. Yeah.
How many young people work at Walmart versus how many older, elderly, disabled people work at Walmart now?
Oh, God. Okay, so in my area now, again, this changes with the season, time of the month. And I don't know where the hell they find these people. But so it's typically, in my Walmart, it's typically older people, disabled people, typically. Now, first of the month, holidays, they find a bunch of young people, and I don't know where they come from.
Do you know why they hire the elderly / disabled people?
Probably because they have a Social Security income coming in as well, and they can afford to work for a little cheaper.
No, not necessarily. Walmart is one of the biggest employers in general, but also one of the biggest employers of that category of people, disabled people, whatever you have, because you get a kickback from it. They get a kickback from employing people who are disabled.
Hey preppers, do you want 10% off survival food? Go to www.readywise.com and use code DOOM10 at checkout for 10% off all your survival food needs. Again, that's code DOOM10 at checkout at readywise.com, DOOM10 for 10% off at readywise.com.
You know, they have a really good scam going on too. So something I found out within the last couple of years about Walmart, not to stay on Walmart like too much longer. What? I have no idea what Scooter's talking about. I found out not too long ago that what Walmart does, like one of their big schemes with everything, is they go out and they build these Walmarts in the cheapest property locations, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do. And what they do is they buy up all the surrounding property. All right. And it's a good scheme what they got going on. So as soon as that Walmart's there, right, they can skyrocket. They can rezone all the property commercial. They could skyrocket the price of it. And they could turn around and make a boatload on the property surrounding Walmart. And then the catch is other corporations buy this up. You know, McDonald's will buy a piece of land. Hardee's, all these different fast food restaurants, different little chain stores will buy up this property to put their stores there because they know Walmart creates traffic. In turn, what happens is all these properties Walmart sold off and all these businesses that got built there are generating more traffic for Walmart. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Hardee's comes out with a new ad saying, go get the new triple beef. And you're like, oh shit, we're right next to Walmart. I forgot I got to get cat food. Then you're in there for an hour and a half and you leave spending $200. That's how that works. And Little Red Jen says, former Walmart worker. Thank you for your service, Little Red Jen.
That, and let's be honest, no fast food restaurant like McDonald's or Wendy's is in the business of burgers. They're in the business of real estate.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to an extent, that's how some of these giants operate. I mean, it really is.
That's literally what it is. McDonald's is a real estate company. They just sell burgers out of their properties. You knew that, right?
No.
Yeah. They operate in the realm of real estate. They just sell burgers out of them, which is why it's so cheap, because they don't care about the product. Don't let them lie to you. They don't give two craps.
Oh, I never thought they did. I mean, I personally, McDonald's, I'll go there. If I haven't been to one in a long time, but I mean, I got to be starving to want to go and get food from there.
I'm not going there. I might get a coffee because their coffee's decent, and I might get some ice cream just because it's ice cream. That's it.
See, I don't know. I could do their coffee. I happen to enjoy McDonald's coffee for whatever reason. I don't think it's bad coffee.
It's pretty good.
If I got to go there, I'm getting nuggets. That's it. I know the pink slime and all the things, but if I have to eat anything from there, that's probably what I'm going to get. And I want to jump to Just a Minute 2's comment here real quick. Here soon, you only have to shop Walmart online in virtual aisles. So check this out, Just a Minute 2. So my wife she hates going into Walmart just like I do, but because it's one of the only stores we have in town where we can get things consistently for the restaurant, we have to shop there. Right. I don't want to say it's a have to thing, but it's like convenience and price versus you're kind of screwed if you don't, and we're running a business. So we kind of got to do what's in the best nature of the business. So she started doing a lot of the curbside pickups. Okay. Mainly because going into Walmart sucks. We're in a small town. People like to stop and talk to her because they know who she is. We've been doing this a lot lately. So I feel that is going to escalate. I mean, imagine when it is the situation where Just a Minute 2 is talking about with the online virtual aisles, and you could literally be in the parking lot, parked there in a parking space, going through these virtual aisles on your phone, dropping stuff into a virtual shopping cart, and then pushing it to the checkout like it's a video game. And then you check out your items. Next thing you know, they come popping out. They're at your car. You're done. And imagine how much more efficient Walmart could be if it wasn't filled with big aisles and different, clothing departments and stuff like that. And everything was just on a rack that an AI machine went and grabbed and put in a virtual cart and brought it to your vehicle. That's probably the future of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until they start basically shipping these things directly to your house and it could be there in an hour, which is probably coming. So also another interesting, call it smart tech, call it AI. So we've had autopilot function on planes for a while. They're now working on doing fully AI aircraft, like fully AI, to where there's just basically a pilot hanging out on there just in case something goes wrong. Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what, and because the airlines are greedy as shit, what'll happen is the airlines will rate this as like a success rate, pass, fail, problems versus not problems thing. If they have 1,000 flights that never have a problem, or 2,000 or 3,000, they'll end up pulling that pilot off there because they have a good success rate and it's an unnecessary expense. And they'll pull them off eventually. I don't think that'll happen in our lifetimes, but you never know. It's going to get crazy here in the next 10 years, guys.
It's getting crazy now.
I know. It's scary, dude. How fast this is all happening.
It's just going to go faster too. I mean, everybody used to be like, "Oh, we got like 10 years to worry about." Technology advances so fast now. You're going to have like 2 weeks to worry about it.
Well, that's it. We have 2 weeks left, and we're all screwed.
Sure, why not, man? Quantum computers are talking to space people. Sure.
Oh my God. Anyway, so the other thing about this, when we're talking about this AI stuff, is there are, as much as we're down talking this and making this sound scary as shit, there are so many practical applications that could better society if this was used properly. The problem is, and this has always been the problem with doing something good, there's never a profit, there's never money to be made in it, right? So, as an example, we could take the AI and we could develop an AI technology to go around and remove all of an invasive bug species out of the area that's killing off the natural habitat, right? But there's really no money to be made in that, so why would you? Instead, there's money to be made over here with the war effort for things like that. So I don't see this going in a direction that's going to be beneficial to us. And that's why I have a big problem with things, because I know it's going to go down a dark road. We're all going to think it's good at first, and we're all going to be reliant, and we're all going to be screwed, basically.
I'm not looking forward to it. Like everybody, dude, like our generation is the last generation of people who are going to be mad about this, man. Let's be honest. Look at these younger kids. They don't want to do anything. They don't even want to work 40 hours a week. You don't know how many TikTok videos I see in my feed of kids being like, you have to work 40 hours. It's ridiculous. And they're all like under 30, right? They're going to look at all of this stuff and embrace it with arms wide open, Creed style, and just love it. And they're just going to do nothing, and they'll own nothing, and they'll be happy, right?
So my son came to me, I want to say it was about 2 weeks ago, and says, Dad, he says, why is everything online now? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, job applications. Why? He's like, I'd rather fill out paper applications. I was like, that's your generation, man. I said, you guys can't even sign your names, and you're wondering why things aren't on paper for you. Are you that inconvenienced by having to fill something out online? This is what you guys wanted. Like, and it's I think it's funny now, just kind of looking back at the situation. But guys, we are coming up on that time. If anybody wants to call in, we're about at that hour mark. So if anybody wants to call into the show, you're more than welcome. I always like to get people in here we don't hear from often. So if you don't call in often, I'd love to get somebody in here. If there's any more thoughts anybody has on this AI, potentially where we could be going with this, things like this. We got Raccoon calling in. Hey preppers, check out Blackbeard Fire Starters. Go to www.blackbeardfire.com/doomsday and utilize code DoomsDay for 10% off your entire order at blackbeardfire.com. let's see here. I think we got him live. What's up, Raccoon? You with us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You might hear my big shop heater in the background.
Oh, it's not bad.
Yeah. George Carlin said it best many, many times. One of his best ones was, to believe in the American dream, you have to be asleep, because you have to fight for it. And you have to fight for what you're going to get. And sometimes you don't win, sometimes you do, but now they have made it to where kids are reprogrammed to think that everything is supposed to be given to them, all the handouts and everything, but people don't realize that nothing's free. And sooner or later, they're going to tell you to dance, you better dance. And that's communism for you, and that's what democracy is. It's one step away from communism.
Right. No, I understand that. And then, I'm also thinking about the idea, too, how Jake mentioned, own nothing and be happy with it. And then how you're mentioning the whole communism thing. I mean, I'm a firm believer we are being pushed right into those two areas. And they're doing it right now through the social media. And if you don't think these algorithms are learning how to do this and how to make people more okay with losing rights and stuff, they absolutely are. It's happening right now.
They've been doing this for the last 125 to 130 years. They've been trying to take down America because the first 50 years didn't work. And now they're going to full-fledged, and they're throwing Hail Mary passes, and they don't have anybody in the end zone to catch. They're pushing everything that's against our Constitution, for one, and against common sense for another. I mean, just so much of it, you can see it coming out all the time. All this stuff is coming out. People are upset because they weren't paying attention, and it's somebody else's fault. You have to take responsibility for your actions. You either succeed or you don't succeed. There's nothing in life free, and life is not about being in a soft position. It's a constant battle for survival. No matter how you look at it, survival is a business, keeping a job, or wanting to buy a house. It's a battle. You have to go against everybody around you to get to the top. And you only get to the top if they allow you to get to the top. But people aren't seeing it. Some people are seeing it, but a lot of people don't see it. They think that everything should be right there for their enjoyment. And
I've said this multiple times, Raccoon. I agree with you. They're painting this as inconvenience as the enemy. Welcome in Mama Bear Tracy. Welcome in Jwoo. Welcome in Solid. Welcome in, guys. And welcome in Nana if I didn't welcome you already. I'm not sure if I did. Jake, what do you think, man? You think that's what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, it's the same stuff that, I mean, for me, I've been talking about it for years and years, and just, you look at the advancements of things and how things just kind of monopolize, and eventually it's just going to get to where there's a very discernible rift. I mean, look at the last 2 years of profits. The consumer lost like $1.6 trillion during the pandemic, and corporations, they profited about $1.9 trillion over that course. And that sets a big rift between consumer and corporation, and that rift is just becoming a widening divide by the day. And that's the way that it's going to be, is that they're just going to be categories that you exist in, and you can't hop out of one or go in the other. Like that movie In Time with Justin Timberlake, you can't go into the other zone because you're just not allowed to, because they don't give you enough time to do it. I don't know if you've seen that movie or not, but
oh, you know what? I have seen it. It's been years since I've seen that, but if I remember the movie correctly, people's health was so good that they basically didn't die. Right. So
no, that was operated on time that was in their arm, and you could live you could live forever, assuming you had the time. But if time ran out, you died.
Right. And it was crazy because you saw, so in this, I can't remember, I think it was Olivia Wilde. Yeah. So she played Justin Timberlake's mom in this movie, and they looked like the same age, because of how the storyline went. But she died. I don't remember if it was taking the bus. Like, they had to share each other's time and basically work their asses off to keep each other alive.
Want to be a guest on the show? Email it's doomsdaypodcast@gmail.com. That's it's doomsdaypodcast@gmail.com.
As to where people that were in the richer upside of town were tipping people like with days and all this amounts. Like, it was wild, but that's how that was their currency, was time. That's how they lived their lives. I hope we never see that happen.
We're just a hop, skip, and a jump away, my friend. I mean, we're looking at digital currency now. What would be the bridge between what we use now with hard currency and using a time frame like that put in your body? Digital currency would be that bridge, right?
Yep. I think it would be, but I think there'd also be an ethical side of this too, and who would sign up for this, because you got to think at the end of the day, you'd also have to have some sort of healthcare in place that's going to allow people to keep on living. Because what happens when
it's going to be minimal health care, and it's going to be the fact that the government controls your bank account, and if you don't do as they say, they bankrupt you and let you go home and not be able to feed your family. I mean, it's laid out in perfect lines that you see what they're trying to do. If they put a digital apparatus in you to monitor your heart, to make sure if you're not working hard enough, Billy's not putting out enough heartbeats the last 2 hours, he must be sloughing off, dock him.
Yeah,
that's what it's coming down to.
It's just looking at being more productive in the same amount of time, multitasking. Instead of sitting down and eating in the morning, drive to work and eat. Just these small things that you can multitask on every day. That's essentially what's going on here, and they're just working to survive at that point. There's no free time, and the only free time you have, you're going somewhere important. You're going to work or you're going home, and think about it. If you really think about the application, everybody would want it, because you don't have to mess with money. You don't have to mess with change. You don't have to go and cash a paycheck. You don't have to worry about direct deposit to hit. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It's there instantly. And if you think about the convenience and the generation coming up behind us and the way things are going in another 20 years, people would absolutely do that. Everybody would be on board with that.
Yep. Be brainwashed into it.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about it is, if you have a digital currency or a hard currency, no matter how you look at it, the government's going to control the amount that it's worth.
And
they may say, we're having a national problem. We're going to have to cause an inflation now, and everybody won't be able to get what they're getting. We're going through that right now. So, inflation's not that bad. No, not to them, because we're paying for all their meals. They're getting paid highly for their meals. But the average person, people don't realize that pet food is made on human consumption standards for a reason. Because a lot of people who are on Social Security and don't get a heck of a lot, $500, $600, $700 a month, some of them $1,200 or $1,500 or whatever. When you have what you've been working up to, and all of a sudden you have to make choices. Can I buy this 50-50 lean hamburger, or should I go over to the cat food section and get some fish?
And in that movie,
I know a lot of people who eat pet food because they can't afford, because the government has raped the Social Security system. And that's nothing more than a digital currency to them, because they give it up and let the central bank control it. It's supposed to be in a separate account. You get interest off of that added to your Social Security, But they really didn't expect people to live past 65 when they started it.
I got you, Raccoon. I understand what you're saying. Jake, I know you were trying to chime in with something there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, as well as in that movie, the time currency is controlled 100% by the central banks.
So it sounds to me, when we're talking about the AI stuff and going back into this, so do we think that could be the ultimate end game? Is this the last shred of freedom you have is potentially your money, potentially this digital currency until they take that away?
No, you are the currency.
You are the currency.
Yeah, that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate goal. Every second of every day is accounted for by what you do, where you go, what you eat, what you buy. All of that is you become the currency, not the currency itself.
I'm seeing what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Welcome in, Daddy Hoff. Welcome in, Eric. Welcome back, Eric. Eric was here earlier. We're all just batteries, Scooter says. So I know to an extent, you need human beings to keep up industry, to keep things functioning. And the thing that, scares me and my interests are, well, what happens when we don't need humans anymore? When does the government say it's okay to let people starve in the street because they're technically not needed now because we have somebody else to fill these roles or fill these shoes? That's what's scary. But I guess to an extent, we're seeing that now, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what do you do with all of the extra fat on the steak?
You throw it away.
They've already.
There you go.
They've already deemed people as useless eaters. They've already got that classification started.
Right. Yeah, I know
they
about
don't want
that.
Useless eaters. And if they get their AI together and start making robots or whatever you want to call them, after a period of time, man is not going to have to learn a trade or learn a skill because they've got something pre-programmed precisely to what they want. People don't realize if this all came about, you're not going to have your luxury little job that you've been holding on to. You're going to be probably working in a field somewhere outside of a large metropolis of these apartments that they have. And that's your job. You're going to be doing things that you would never think you would have to do because you want to stay alive. You want to feed your family. And people don't understand the ramifications of this. I mean,
well, that's
this
because
could be
there's an immediate
completely
reward
destroying. This could be completely destroying the creation, which is what they're after. They say climate change and all this other crap and air pollution, but yet they all get together and fly over and pollute more than a small city in a week. Traveling in jets, traveling by helicopter, getting to the cars and going and doing that back as they go out. I mean, these people are nothing more than hideous reminders that they don't want us here. That's why we have wars. It's not because somebody ticked off somebody. It's because they're not following the agenda, so they take them out. Send over a couple thousand people, and if 1,000 come back, that's fine. We've done our job. If they get mangled up, we'll figure out a way to get rid of them because they really don't have a function anymore. You see that in the VA system. Just look back through the VA system for the last 100 years. You see it. And that's the same way it's going to be because it'll be a government-ran healthcare, and some of them doctors don't even have licenses, will be pushing it. Here, take this medication. That medication may work for one person, may not work for the other person, and may have really bad consequences for the third person. He might go schizo. He might off himself. He might go in and run over people because he had this vision or this voice in his head that was telling him to do something. And that's what government healthcare does. It just tries to destroy everything, but do it slowly so you can milk the money out of them first before you kick them off.
Hey preppers, check out Blackbeard Fire Starters. Go to www.blackbeardfire.com/doomsday and utilize code doomsday for 10% off your entire order at blackbeardfire.com. Well, I'll tell you what, we're definitely seeing that now. There's no doubt about that now. And I know, Jake, you were trying to say something. I didn't catch what you said.
Great question, Jester. I don't remember.
Anyway, all right. Well, guys, we've got about 16 minutes left here. I want to try to get somebody else up on the panel if we can.
Okay.
Raccoon 6, I appreciate you calling in, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Have a good day. Yeah. So, guys, I've had these conversations with Raccoon before. I know where he's coming from with the stuff he says, and he's not wrong. They are wanting to destroy this country from the inside out. That is absolutely what's happening. I know we kind of went off of the AI side a little bit there, but there is a faction. It does pull it together because, again, like I'm always saying on the show, they are making inconvenience the enemy to where we have everything at the tips of our fingers, and it is the best friend of you. And that is why AI is going to be your greatest thing in your life. Smart tech is going to be the best thing you can have.
Well, the only way to take out the United States is to kill it from within and work its way out. You have to rot it like a tumor. You're not going to take it from outside in. Nobody's going to come here and mess with a gun behind every blade of grass. That was true when that was said. I'm pretty sure Lincoln said that exact same thing. Is that the concern isn't somebody coming here to take the country. The concern is the country eroding from within. That's the only way it's truly going to fall. And you can do that in a plethora of ways. You can leak money out to some random country, and this is just a random scenario. Let's just say you have a president who's a tool and given millions upon millions of dollars to another country to fight, like, I don't know, like a proxy war, and you give them some like non-specific number, like 31 Abrams tanks, about $400 million, weapons, arms, food. That's just a random scenario. But that's how you do it. You bleed it out. You don't take it from the outside in.
No, I get it, man. I'm picking up what you're putting down, and I understand. And I do got to say this, though.
Funny you said that, Eric. That was great timing.
What did Eric say? I totally missed the comment. There you go. Yeah.
I think we said the Lincoln thing at the same time. That's crazy.
Well, what I was going to say is I think the main reason we haven't been taken out yet, I get the, gun behind every blade of grass, this, that, the other, but also the idea that I feel that we've had better military technology than a lot of these other countries. And that's half the reason they wouldn't dare take us on, is because of our military strength.
Yeah. I mean, money isn't everything though. It's going to come down to skill, but I mean, we have a huge military budget. I think it's greater than the next like 16 countries behind us combined or something like that. It's a very large number. It's like $759 billion or whatever. Of course that's going to help. Of course. But we also don't need to play world police. That's not our job. And they finally came out and admitted something interesting the other day about this whole proxy war, and they came out and legitimately said it, that they're not assisting necessarily Ukraine. They have the same ideals. They said that from the beginning, but the whole premise is we don't we can pay Ukraine to fight the Russians over there, so we don't have to pay to fight the Russians over here. And that was one very big important thing.
Yeah, until they want to come over here to fight, then we don't have a choice.
And it's looking like that scenario is set up, my friend. 2025.
It's absolutely ridiculous. So, one thing I did want to get into before we get out of here for today. So Jake sent me an article earlier about the Israel and Iran conflict that's going on over there right now.
Yeah.
How much did you get into that?
I keep an eye on the entire world, dude. I'll send you some other stuff, but like right now, basically every major country in the world is full on protest, like rioting. And our media is silent about it.
Huh. And what is the reason?
The same reasons that we have.
They're just pissed off.
Everybody's pissed off because they're getting screwed over, man. Everybody's getting screwed over, and everybody's rioting. Everybody is. Everybody's in the streets right now, even India. And those are like the nicest people in the entire freaking world, and they're in the streets.
Yeah, I've been missing a lot what's going on in the world. You know what would make it a lot easier for me to keep up with all these things?
AI.
AI. I just need to maybe I could pre-program the Google to wake me up in the morning with news stories like, hey, here's what's going on in your world. Of course it would all be censored and manipulated though. That's the second problem. That, you know, and that's the other, that was one thing I wanted to get into with the AI thing. We got a few minutes left here. Guys, it's also the idea of covering up information, preventing, and I mean, they're doing it right now. They're utilizing these algorithms to censor different information that they don't want out there. This is why certain things weren't released about the vaccines or, you know, the immunities with COVID. All these things were kind of buried, and they still are. They're still not really getting out, and that's okay. I mean, eventually they will. But do understand that this has a lot of power of censorship to be able to take stories that they're picking up and be like, nope, we want to create a narrative. We want to create a different story. And that's what they're going to do. It's that simple. And I don't know.
They wouldn't do that to us.
They might. Think about it. I just got a thing that said Mags was calling in, and I don't see her on the panel. So I don't know if it was an accident or not.
Hi, Mags.
Yeah, I don't know. Welcome in, Mags, if you're in here. So, guys, 10 minutes left if anybody wants to call in here. Well, a little less than 10. It was an accident. Okay, it was an accident.
Good prank, Mags. Good one.
Mags just burned us. Oh, now she's going to get us again. Not this time, Mags.
I'm not getting got again.
What's up, Mags? How are you today?
This time it's not an accident, my fellow friends. This is very interesting and scary at the same time.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting, and Jake, you're doing a great job writing.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for reading it.
It's awesome. So, you're such a smart guy. But anyway, yeah.
Hey preppers, do you want 10% off survival food? Go to www.readywise.com and use code DOOM10 at checkout for 10% off all your survival food needs. Again, that's code DOOM10 at checkout at readywise.com, DOOM10 for 10% off at readywise.com.
But just want to say hey, and I love all you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Mags. We love you too.
Hey, we love you too.
All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye, Mags. Mags is awesome.
I know.
So imagine, okay, so one thing I wanted to go is a trend we've seen over the last couple of years here is them trying to snuff out history, get rid of different aspects of history. We've seen the cancel culture with the history, stuff like that. And imagine if you have AI smartly rewrite our history. So we go back down the same roads and make the same mistakes again, right? Imagine if that was a thing to where, you know what? They said we don't need paperback books anymore. And we go ahead and we start getting rid of different information and we have AI rewrite things, right?
We would never repeat history. What do you mean?
Wouldn't we?
What do you mean?
What do I mean?
We would never repeat our history, right? You'd have to almost erase history and tear down your monuments and stop educating the youth and just do a whole bunch of stuff that would allow the repetition of history to just happen organically. That's not going to happen, right?
I don't think. Wait, you're talking about removing statues,
like
manipulating the youth. Wait, you think that could happen in our lifetime?
No way, dude. You do have to have such a coordinated effort to like to pull that off, and you'd probably have to do it under the guise of like, I don't know, some sort of form of like social justice, I guess. If that, I just made that up off the top of my head, because like stuff happened like 500 years ago, and because you're alive now, it's your fault.
Dude, I don't know, man. This sounds pretty crazy. I mean, it sounds like they might start, changing football names, or I don't know, like taking people off butter containers.
Yeah, they
Solid.
remove,
Is this real this I don't know if this is real this time. Solid, is this real this time?
Yeah, it is
remove the Indian to keep the land, right?
Definitely real.
What's up, Solid? How are you?
Hey, Jester, and again, thank you very much for supporting me the other day. I appreciate it so much.
Oh, absolutely.
Things that happened 500 years ago, they're kind of repeating itself in terms of cancel culture and rewriting history, considering that the history was already there from people who already did it. I don't think anyone's rewriting it. I think people are just pretty much coming out and telling what happened and blah, 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 but certain people just don't want to hear it.
Well, no, so I think it depends on what aspects of this you're talking about specifically, because I have seen a lot of things be censored, shut down, taken away.
Absolutely.
I think it's bad, and I think it's bad because how we're talking about if we have to learn from our mistakes so we don't make the same mistakes again. And if people say, hey, you know what, I don't like this needs to go away because of what it represents, I get it. I understand it. That's fine. But then we all forget why this was bad in the first place and why why it left and what prevents us from going down that road again.
But if you don't acknowledge what happened in the first place, then you are going to repeat it. And it's being repeated every single day. And in terms of the statues or what have you, I think that was one of the dumbest things to do, was to take them down, because I say leave them up. And while you're, praising one aspect of this person, talk about the other aspect, talk about the whole. Right. So for me, either we learn about everything, the good and the bad, and don't worry about certain people's feelings getting hurt, because Lord knows other kids are going to school and getting talked about and their feelings are getting hurt constantly. Then either you're going to talk about the whole or don't talk about anything. And I'm at the point now where don't talk about George Washington, don't talk about Martin Luther King, don't talk about Malcolm X, don't talk about Thomas Jefferson. Just don't talk about anything. Don't talk about history at all. Because unless you're going to talk about it all and be willing to listen to the good and the bad, even though it happened 500 years ago, then we should just not talk about anything concerning history.
Well, see, that's always been the big problem is, even I remember being in school and going through history class and stuff. They didn't want to give both sides of the story. They didn't want to paint a whole picture. It was that they wanted to paint this in a manipulative way for this is the way you need to think about this. Right.
But the person in power always has the opportunity to write it the way they want. And we know who the people in power are. And they don't look like me.
Well, no, the people in power are evil. Pure evil.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
And they are white old men. A majority of them. I know that's where you were going. But these, I mean, you guys got to understand too, these people in power that are pulling the strings here, they're not looking at race or people as a whole as much as they're looking at people in a whole. They're not breaking this down on a racial divide or anything like that. They want everybody to fall into the same realm. It's either you're elite or you're not. That's
right. But you also need to have people who are going to be able to, who are not as powerful as you, whatever. You're still going to need that group of people that you can still use to keep the other people in line. And you had that 500 years ago. You have the people who were there to keep the people in line, because those same people who were used to keep people in line are the same people who are voting against their interests right now. Because someone else is saying, well, these people are doing this and these people are doing this. So why don't you just come along with us? But they're not helping them either. There will always be a group of people who will always look down on another group of people. It always will. And that's when I come back. And what I was saying the other day, God just needs to blow everything up, put the animals at the top, put humans at the bottom, because animals don't fuck each other over.
Wow, solid. You unpacked a lot on me there, and I'm processing. And we only got about a minute and a half left in the show, but I'll definitely be happy to revisit this with you at some point here.
Okie dokie, and I'm sorry for saying the F word if you're on TikTok, because I know what it's like to get banned.
Oh, no, we're not on TikTok. You're totally fine. And on here, it's pretty much uncensored, and that's it. But guys, yeah, we got a minute left. Solid, I'm going to drop you out, but thank you for popping in. Jake, minute left. Thoughts?
AI is going to be scary.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes, it is. Hey guys, I wanted
read
to
my books.
Read my books. So guys, I wanted to first out, I want to thank everybody for being in here today, because I've noticed our numbers are getting back to where they once were. We took a hit for a while there. Our live numbers were down. It looks like they're starting to climb back up again. So everybody that came in tonight, everybody that shared this out, stuck around and hung out, thank you guys so much for popping in and being here. And everybody that's new, guys, we're here every Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 3 Pacific. And we will see you guys back here next Monday. That's all. Yeah. Have a good evening, everybody.
Toodles.
This is an emergency action message. At approximately 1 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, NORAD is tracking 15 ICBM nuclear missiles inbound to the following cities: Orlando, Miami, Pittsburgh, Dover, Newark, Richland, Philadelphia, New York City, Baltimore, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Boston, Seattle, Detroit. This is an extremely deadly situation. Stay tuned. The next emergency message will be a presidential address.